Carney was super mad at me because I forgot he had blind sight. And an hour later, it was a problem. There's a big cube of gel. Low. And you guys are robbing some guy's tomb.
What? Why are we here?
We were hired to check out this tomb. We're gonna get some loot.
It's good enough. Wait, shit. We don't have anyone with trap things, do we?
Okay, anybody want to explain to Thors what's going on? I forgot.
I don't know what's going on.
Actually,
I said we're hired to check out this tomb. We're gonna get some loot.
Good enough for me.
Alright, we'll play it that Alvin's sitting outside waiting for someone to come yell for him, and I'll have Carney's character go run for him.
I'm cooking a kebab.
I just kind of figured he was passed out in the cart.
But we'll start off with
Making
Charlie.
lunch.
You're squished under. You're like Loris is like sitting on top of you, basically. You got shoved onto your self.
Okay, I'm back.
We're starting off with your turn. You're sitting basically in a person pile. Everyone's getting shoved around by this goo.
Yeah, I had to zoom in. Yeah.
The dungeon's not that tiny.
Hey, John. If I'm not here next time we go to town, I want to get a mule also, or something.
You don't want to just solely rely on the
I want a pack animal.
Does it have to do with your bulging bags of stuff?
Yeah, that's what I was
Might
going to
need
say.
several pack animals.
Yes. We'll see.
Okay, I'll shoot the cube. I assume both of those hit.
We'll assume nothing. I'm making a shame box to put Alvin in.
And Alvin runs in
Yeah, I
screaming,
can see.
"Guys, I heard a naked bear was here."
Oh shit, is that Jello? I love Jello.
Now you're in the shame box.
Oh.
Alright, 20 and 18. Normally they'd hit, but because you asked, they miss. Critical fumble. Roll 2d100s.
No, I'll just fucking roll the attacks again.
Right. Roll damage.
Aha, not this time.
You saucy turtle. Damage, Devia, damage! Feel myself aging. Do you want to do anything else?
I already moved back towards the wall, so I suppose not.
And Sisefric. And open his character sheet. And swing. Double C. Swing. Yeah, he's swinging normally. A 9 misses. There we go. And Loris. And open up his sheet. And fire. Where is he?
I finally watched that, what was it, Crap's Guide to like everything.
Yeah. What, you
And
watched
I
all
saw
the
the
classes?
Yeah, and I saw the Bard one and I was like, oh, I didn't know they could be useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, bards are great.
They're great when they remember they have bardic inspiration.
-9 for one hit there. He's not ending his turn. Okay, he's going to move off of Tall. And Cassius.
Is Cassius also in the pile?
Yeah, he's in there somewhere, I think. He's under Ta'ala.
CT.
Sorry
Finish
about
this
that.
headset back on.
I'm gonna swing at the gelatinous cube.
Right, go ahead and swing. No, but you're on top of, or you're sharing space with another character right now.
Well, who moved on to me?
You all got shoved into a pile.
All right. So. All right. I'm going to. Move right there. So swing at me.
Ugh, now I have to open up the monster sheet. Jesus Christ. I hope it crits the shit out of you, you son of a bitch. Nate.
Move right there.
And it has a sentinel, so you moved into its range, so it swings at you again.
Does it? Let's say.
This
Now I
gelatinous
swing.
cube has sentinel
Wait,
and
there's nobody
polearm
on me.
monster.
What are you talking about? You don't see Ta'ala in the exact same spot you just were?
He's one spot above me. Above where I was.
No.
Doesn't matter. Moving works out anyway. Sorry, this is.
I mean, yeah, but you weren't there yet. 24 connects.
10 damage. Assuming it takes that much damage. And swing again.
25 connects.
I'm so up to 24 did. I'm gonna do
now
that.
it misses.
Oh, screw you, CT. I'm gonna use a spell.
Alright. Oh, big old fat divine smite right there.
Bonus action.
Bonus action. Oh yeah, right,
I
buddy.
don't. I think that's just leftover from before. I don't think you cast it during this fight.
No, yeah, I think it was left over from the other fight.
It only lasts a minute, so it'll probably be gone.
Oh, okay. I forgot. I thought we went straight into this fight right after the last.
No, because we spent forever trying to figure out how to push the face while not looking at it.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll go to Sky's turn.
Okie dokie. Use Toll the Dead on the cube.
Alright, this thing is a Mage Slayer. It attacks you.
Is it?
A wisdom save against a gelatinous cube. Don't you think that's a little harsh?
I don't know. It seemed like it made its last one.
Oh!
Yeah, this cube is the wisest cube known to man.
It's just in there. You be good to yourself. Don't let that cat hurt you.
I mean, it made
It's
2 wisdom saves.
We hiked
Freaking,
up to
like-
the top of a mountain to find this wise cube.
Also going to take one look at what it did to Felku, and I'm going to head back to the stairs.
Oh, yeah, Felku's a bear.
Yeah, but I have fur too.
He's a naked bear.
I would like to continue to have fur.
Let's see, so let me open
Hey,
up Wild
why
Sheet.
don't you get into melee? Come on. Hit it with your dagger.
He's a naked brown bear. One bite, one claws. What's the line from Hearthstone? My teeth that gnash, my claws that something. Carney putting in some damage. Right. Oh, he moves on the Thog and then he runs over here to do that. Then it's Ta'ala's turn. I guess he'll stab it. I don't really know. It's always a toss up what Durgan will do. He'll stab it.
Take like a spare dagger, throw it into the center of it, and then use heat metal.
He rolled a
that'd be useful.
he rolled a 10, which does hit. He has 3 damage. He's living up to his. Oh shit! I was supposed to have Arnie's character run up there. Okay, well nobody warned Thor's this.
What?
So Sky said that they went up the stairs, so Sky will be like, "Hey, there's magical jello down
Yeah, okay.
here." Gelatinous cube, and it's going to. Let's see.
The Buddha became enlightened and then became a cube.
Okay, it's gonna force a Dex save from Ta'ala and Sisefri. Nice. Also nice. All right, well.
Sleeping cubed.
They're gonna both take. Oh, actually, real quick, so Sefri does get advantage. All right, so he does pass. And
Should I roll?
not just yet. We're at the end of the round. All right, so now it's got Durgan in there, and then it's gonna. All right, so I need a dexterity save from CT and from Brown Bear. Brown Bear fails.
Dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw.
A dexterity saving throw. But
I mean,
I'm going to use inspiration.
Do you have that?
No. You never give it out to us, John.
Maybe if you did cool stuff. You're each gonna take 17 damage. You take more damage from one. Alright, so the bear fell coop, and he takes 3 damage.
Are we to kill Falco when he's not even here?
yeah, we got a healer that's about to come down the stairs.
Alright, there you go, CT. So now you are also in the slime. So it's moved 5.
Just make a strength thing to get out of it.
And then why not? It's hungry. We'll do another Sisefri. – 22 will pass.
I'd like you to notice I don't have any complaints when you're doing it to Durgan, though.
Alright.
I think Durgan should have a phobia of all like gelatinous things.
And then, Thog and Loris also got an opportunity attack. Oh.
Sure is funny when you're rolling for our guys that it's always bad, and then
Yeah, maybe they should be here.
it's crits when you roll the monster.
I don't know what you're talking about. Rusty passed his dexterity save.
Yeah, both.
It's
of them.
random.
That's Rusty's luck just leaking from fucking everywhere.
36. Disadvantage on his
I'm
next attack roll.
I'm
Does-
not
does-
going to call shenanigans on John.
Does Thog want to take an opportunity attack?
He just
Yes,
turned
Thog
on
does.
auto rolls or whatever.
Go for it. Oh, sad. An
See,
8
when
misses.
our people roll, the shitters too.
Alright, everybody can roll initiative.
Wait, did I not get my turn?
Oh, I skipped your turn because you rolled bad. Yeah.
Oh shit! I forgot we were.
Your
two
brother was
bad.
was saying he wasn't going to complain about me.
Pull me out.
There we go.
But yeah, you go ahead and do your turn. Sorry.
There we go. Does that even count?
You just don't get a turn. 0.
I'm gonna attack with my great axe.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna pull the paladin out instead.
Okay, I wanted to see how shitty my luck was, so I grabbed an actual 20-sided die. 4.
John, what roll do I need to make to pull the paladin out?
Raw strength check.
Why don't you use the set of manacles to try and pull him out?
All right, so you reach in, like as soon as you do, like you feel like the acid like sting your hands. There's something on that sheet that I forgot to read. Is it hurts to reach in there too? So you reach in, like I said. You see like your fingertips like melt,
Oh, I take 10 damage. Great.
or your fingernails melt off. They'll grow back. And you go to grab Cassius, but your hands are like slick from your own dissolved hands. So you just kind of like slide like and smear like blood like on him and like pull out nothing. But you watch as like the blood gets like dissolved away too.
You're boned.
They can make their own strength checks.
Right, I'm gonna go ahead and roll my initiative now.
Go ahead and roll initiative.
It's okay, Thors.
Yeah, I'll probably get down there at some point. Wait, is it my turn? No.
Roll Felku.
Did you get a
Rolled a
turn this
0.
round?
Oh God, we're gonna kill Carney.
Good luck, guys, because I'm not getting there anytime soon to save anyone.
Roll Sefri.
Okay, real talk, Iltis. Should I not upload this recording and we just pretend Carney didn't die?
Why? You think you actually watch it? I can guarantee the answer is no.
And then the cube.
I know he did for one video a little while back where he wasn't there that night.
Oh God.
Is why I'm worried about this.
We're gonna start off the bat with Loris's turn. Oh God. He's panicking just like I am.
Does Loris have a length of rope?
Throws it in, instantly dissolves. Good plan.
He's gonna try and grab Felku.
I'm gonna use my portent dice so he can have a 17 on it.
He pulls Felku out, but he also
It's my contribution to the Carney not dying.
pulls Felku out. It's Guy's turn.
Okay.
Freeze it. I mean,
Chromatic
It's gonna be
orb.
far.
23 connects.
What element?
He said fire.
Ah.
29. So you watch like it boils down like a lot smaller than it was before, but it still sort of like holds its shape. Like you can like it's starting to like ooze like jelly like onto the ground.
Just try and get this thing dead before it kills Cardi.
And Charlie.
Just stay back where I am.
Is Charlie in there too? I didn't...
No, I moved the fuck away from it. I mean, it's like, you guys have ranged attacks. I would have suggested using them. But yeah, I'm gonna move over here.
I throw a javelin. It's in the cube now. Woo!
And
I cast
I'm
Eldritch
not getting near
Blast.
that thing. Smeldritch Blast.
12. They both hit.
God damn it, the
Ooh, big
12 hit for a lot more.
How do you want to end it?
By hitting, come on, hit Tala with it.
Just to have two big bullet hole style double taps through it.
You fire off 2 shots. They slam through the like ooze, like just narrowly missing both members of the party as it just sort of like flies through it, like splattering Loris and Felku with just like this, or just Loris, I guess, with like just a full face, like Nickelodeon splat style, like up his whole body, coated with like the clear slime. As it's just like you see like shudder and shake, and slowly like it dissolves down into the ground, and sort of like Cassius and Dala slowly like plop to the ground.
It'd be kind of funny if the acid splashed on Falco and killed him anyway.
And then Albin shows up. What happened?
No, don't give John ideas. Oh, and that was almost as bad as listening to Tala talk.
Just Albin comes in with both hands over his face.
Albin shows up. He's
got
like a battle axe on one hand and like a squirrel kebab in the other. What happened?
Freaking
Slime.
If I minimize the turn order thing, does it go away for you guys?
It's still there on me.
Up to Allah curled up in the fetal position, going, black pudding.
Yeah, he's curled up.
So
What a convenient excuse for me not to puppet him anymore.
that was lucky because the cube was next.
Yeah, do you want to see how much damage you would have taken, CT?
Sure.
Not that much.
Wow.
Tala.
I would be fine. Tala would be dead. Damn it. I'd do that hit.
Durgan has such like unfortunately low health. He's such a fragile creature.
He somehow has less than me.
I would recommend before we head further in that we take a short rest. Some of our hit dice.
Yeah, y'all have
No
fun.
point wasting spells on curing.
Yeah, so things are in the clear. Things have calmed down, and you notice that like in the sort of like line that it took like through the room over here, that it's left like this immaculately like clean floor as it did.
You must have just been walking back and forth or using on that hallway for a while.
Is this edible, John?
You can try it.
Yeah. You can try it. I mean, you're a dwarf. They have pretty strong stomachs, right?
I am
Just like take a-
poison proof, pretty much.
It's like I'm standing.
Just take a
with
pinky
the-
finger, just put his finger in and go, nump.
It's like I know the limitations of roll 20, Iltis, but like standing at the door, what do I see down the hallway with 120 feet of dark vision?
You see fucking nothing. You shut your whore mouth.
Oh, god damn it. Alright.
No, so real quick. So you reach down with like 2 fingers and like scoop up some of like the clear slime, and you kind of like look at Cassius and Dala. Like you stare Cassius like right in the face, and you like stick your fingers in your mouth. And so like so the slime, as soon as it goes into your mouth, it tastes like absolutely nothing. Like a complete lack of any flavor. Just like this like gooey mouthfeel. It's like Jello that's non-existent.
Without sugar. It's like Jello.
And it feels, and you can feel like this stinging on your tongue, like if you've eaten too much pineapple.
Or if you eat like 5 warheads.
Yeah.
What is a warhead, Charlie?
It's a sour candy.
So meanwhile, while Sky is like, maybe we should rest, heal up a little bit, consolidate. Like Charlie like toddles up to the wall or to like the entrance. So as you approach, like looking down the hallway, like starting about 5 feet in front of where you are, to all the way to just before the end of the hallway, the walls are covered in these massive 5-foot tall frescoes that are like one section after another. Like it goes one into the other, like covering this, like each, like both sides of the hallway, each 5-foot section with a unique fresco. And what you can see is that there seems to be a small protrusion at the bottom of each one.
I get the feeling there's gonna be another puzzle.
Okay, I'm after a short rest.
We're right at the entrance, right?
Correct. This is the first room.
Let's step outside and take a rest.
Sounds good.
Like,
Why
Just
don't
gonna
we
do
just
it.
rest in this entrance here, and we only have one way to watch. Well, I guess 2 ways to watch, but still, better than outside.
He's just recommending a short rest. So wherever's fine.
Also, I'll be right back.
Alright, and then I can do medicine checks. For maximum roll.
How many hit dice can you spend during the short rest?
Well, I mean during the short rest. I have medics.
But yeah, if you guys just sort of want to like spread out, sort of like along the room. Just sort of like take a rest or whatever you want to do. You can roll some dice.
I refresh my light cantrip.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I just figured I might as well say it so you don't be like, well, you never said anything, CT, so it's gone now.
No, I thought you meant like you have to like you can only use it like once per short rest or something. I was like, what? Is that a thing?
Just happy I have my action surge back.
Didn't mean to hit that, my bad.
As everyone's resting. Ah!
It's like, I lose control! I take my mask off! Ah! The ooze is eating away at my self-control.
Just really needed to get that slime out of your hair.
Can I have everybody mention what their passive perceptions are?
I'm back. 12.
12.
Oh, and
19.
probably should have mentioned it before I left, but
15.
I'll just stay awake and keep watch the whole time if everyone else is resting.
Oh, we're doing a short rest. I'm going to use 2 short hit
besides the medic thing, I have nothing to rest for.
Like,
I have 9 passive perception.
Did you say 19, CT?
He did.
Yeah, I did as a joke. It's 12.
Does anyone here have higher than a 12?
I have 15.
I think Carney has like 17.
Yeah, Carney's not here really. Forget about it.
I don't know what Totes has. I think he has a 15 though.
Yeah. So
14.
I just remember it was higher than mine.
All right, so if you're gonna roll hit dice, go ahead and roll hit dice to recover some health. If you're gonna do spells or anything,
short rest.
keep in mind because of the medic ability, we can have Thor's roll a medicine check for everybody that does it, and on a roll of 15.
Only one. So roll your, yeah.
So Narissa, you have to use your rolled dice. The second person to roll gets to get the maximum.
I just wonder if I could spend 2.
Yeah, you can spend as many as you want.
Wait,
Oh.
Durgan has an ability too.
Yes.
Yes, but he would not have used it.
Yeah, he's also not here. Yeah, would he have used it?
I don't think isn't it a passive?
No.
Although this is funny. Of every single ability and class feature that he has, that is the only one that he has open right now.
That's like one of the few ones he actually used.
Yeah. Yeah, you can use an extra 1d6 hit points.
Don't you dare accuse Durgan of being useful.
Yeah, how dare you?
It's just the passive. Oh, do I roll on that one too?
No. This is just for the hit dice. That's just bonus. And also, you failed for a nurse anyway.
That brings me up to almost full.
What?
That brings me up to almost full.
Alright, I'm going to have Felku roll, because he's dead.
Oh, well, then
Felku's going to be the one who passes, I guess. What's his hit dice? D8. Let's see.
I'll give myself a belly rub just in case, even though I don't need it.
Still got a while on mage armor.
Yeah, I don't have any hit dice, so
How do you not?
Yeah,
I don't have any.
Go into your
Get
character
one a
sheet.
level.
Underneath the temporary hit points, it should say you have total 5 or something like that.
Total 5, but there's a blank number beneath it.
So you should have 5 because you
Yeah,
haven't
just
used
put five
any.
in there.
Alright, I'm gonna roll a hit dice.
You get that many health back, and you use however many you want, but you have to say before.
it's maximum, and so does Felku.
Does he? You rolled 3 in a row, didn't you?
No, I
Or was
did.
it-
Yeah, but 3 people rolled. You just said there. I thought.
I
somebody-
used 2 hit dice, and that got me back
Oh,
to full,
okay.
so you didn't even need to roll for me. But thank you.
So that, yeah, you can get your you can recover 10 health points for each hit dice you spend. And so then, Thors, you're the only one that notices, just kind of barely. So, like I said, you stand at the entrance to like this hallway. So, like I'm describing, directly in front of you are where the frescoes start, and they go to just about the end of the hall over here. This constant, like each section has like a different fresco, and below each fresco is what looks like, now Sky, that you're a little bit closer, what looks like a button.
I would like to investigate the fresco.
Hey, I just saw a little leg pop out over there
That was about halfway through the rest, so it was about half an hour ago.
about half an hour ago.
So,
You're just
Sky,
mentioning it.
It went into the wall.
do you
I
want to
wasn't
like,
sure if I was tripping or not.
do you want to do it from where you're standing, or do you want to like step in front of the fresco?
Hmm.
You
Well,
did
before I
just
step in front of the if I'm going to step in front of the fresco, I would like to first investigate the area in front of the fresco.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check.
I'm real good at perception.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to do those to GM too. But yeah, so like looking at the ground in front of the fresco, everything is immaculate. Like the ground is pristine, and you see that there's like no like everything is like very closely together. It just looks like someone has taken like a solid slab of stone all around and chiseled lines into it, as if to make like faux tiles, basically. You don't see anything that betrays the presence of anything in front of the statue or in front of the fresco. Sorry. In my head, like if it's like on a wall or something, it's like it's all the same thing.
I'm gonna poke the ground with my in front of me with my rapier.
You tap the ground and like you hear like a slight ding 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 like sound sort of like echo down the hallway, but nothing happens in response.
Okay, well, I'm just going to take a step forward and hope I don't die.
Right, just incinerated.
instant
That sucks.
death.
I forget, do you have Mage Hand?
A
So with
whole a bucket full of gelatinous cube stuff falls and you gets rid of all your fur.
So with that, as you step forward, you notice that you're flanked on either side by these massive frescoes. On the one, so every direction I say left, right, forward, back, is going to be like relative to your screen, like top, bottom, left, right.
Okay.
The fresco on your left depicts a robed figure with standing on the back of a dragon, mid-flight. A massive, what seems like glittering chain is wrapped around the dragon's neck, and it's being held in one massive, like gauntleted, like one hand with like a massive gauntlet on it, while the other is like raised into the air in like a heroic pose. And down at the bottom, about like a navel or about like pelvic height, is what is a small button that has like a picture of like a mouth on it.
Right? Is it a defiantly heroic pose?
It is a triumphantly heroic pose.
Oh.
And you can almost feel a smile on the figure's face, even though it's too small to actually make out any facial features.
Okay. What's on the opposite wall?
Looking over on the opposite wall, you again see a now familiar-looking robed figure, completely cloaked, except for like tufts of like white hair sort of poking out of like their hood. And again, that same massive gauntlet in one hand, sitting at a wooden table, and across from him and behind him, like in the foreground of the picture, are massive orcs. But the one sitting at the table is so large, so physically imposing that you can actually see like the table like creaking underneath his mass. And in the portrait is depicting the cloaked figure like beating the massive orc warrior in an arm wrestling contest, like his hand like slamming into the table and like the wood splintering underneath. And again, about pelvic height, another what seems to be a button sticking out of the wall.
Sorry, I'm writing stuff down. Okay. I'm going to move forward another 5 feet. Keeping an eye out for anything that might happen. Like noises or anything like that.
You step forward, and again, nothing. Just two more frescoes flanking you on either side. The one to your left depicts a massive, physically imposing form the size of a city. A massive behemoth of a creature that skin seems to be wrought from metal itself, like glimmering in the sun. And there, standing at the foot of like standing on top of like a tall rock, arms sort of stretched outside, and like clearly garnering the creature's rapt attention, is again that same cloaked figure, now easily recognizable by like the dark emerald green robe and the large gauntleted hands.
He looked as tall as mom.
And again, pelvic height, a button.
And carved beneath it, best regards.
Everything
And then
explodes.
the sky explodes.
What about the other wall?
And on the right now you see, and instantly you're sort of like, so you turn to like look at the other one and you're like caught off guard, like you have to do a double take. It depicts a traditional Tabaxi village with several of the feline forms like watching with like rapt attention, several with their arms sort of like thrown up and like cheering. And now again you see like that same robed figure now in like a sprinter's position, like arms like out at its side, legs like running with like, and you can see like the robe like thrown up, and you see like a bulging like calf muscle underneath, and behind him is what looks like a surprised Tabaxi that's like fallen behind what seems to be some sort of foot race.
Something seems odd here.
Okay.
The catastrophe that you lost to a human.
What about these?
Again, and of course, each one of these has a button. So I'm going to stop saying that, okay? So this one is one that like sort of makes you like peek back down the hallway towards Ta'ala as he just sort of like sits there, sort of like muttering to himself and kind of like nursing his wounds. Depicted in this fresco is what seems to be a large velvet bed with this deep red sheets that are like this dark, almost like sinister, like malevolent red and shades of purple, like delicately woven into it. Now you can see that same figure, sort of like it seems to be naked from the waist up with the sheets covering like at the hip, but still wearing that green robe and the large like emerald green gauntlets on either side, like outstretched on either side, and like in his arms and like are on each side two drow women.
We found Tala's dad.
With a fifth one sort of draped across his chest.
Okay. And next wall? The opposite wall?
Tailoring itself to us?
So the one across from that is what seems to be that same green-robed figure, now sort of taking like a surprise, sort of like jumping back stance, like his hand sort of outstretched and lightning, zapping at a table. And there you can see what seems to be a mold of what seems to be an alchemist table that now that you look at it seems to have an equally surprised naked gnome sitting on the table.
Is this just replaying our adventures?
When did you guys ever sleep with drow?
I
Or ride a
mean,
dragon? Or wrestle an orc?
Okay.
CT's hidden backstory would tell why he really hates him.
All right.
the Tala's really my
So
character
again-
based on disappointment.
You- As you step forward, you see that same figure now standing on like a massive jutting of rock in the middle of an ocean, the wave like majestically crashing in like from behind. Their arms are outstretched, and you can see like pale, like sort of like little arms like sticking out of like the robe, like again ending in those same massive gauntlets. And in each gauntlet is what seems to be a staff of almost immaculate craft, even in like the slightly less detailed fresco. And you can see like stars and lightning and storms emanating from the tops of the staffs, one held in each hand.
All right. And the other wall?
And on the other wall, you see a somewhat more humorous image that seems to be based on above. That same hooded figure, like his face obscured by what seems to be an object he's juggling. And when you look a little bit closer, you can see that wrapped into a little ball, sort of like holding themselves together, are kobolds that he's like taking, like juggling in his hands. And again, you can almost feel like this joyous, like laughter, like this feeling of like happiness, sort of like emanating from the picture. And again, the button about pelvic height.
These go all the way down the hall.
Correct. There's 2 more sections to go.
Okay.
Now on your left, you see that same picture, that same hooded figure again from a far distance. One hand sort of held up, almost like in like out of character, like a wrestling pose, like a wrestling champion pose. And there you can see like the picture is zoomed out to show that he's standing on the back of a giant that seems to have collapsed onto the ground. And you can tell just from the sheer size of it, it seems to be one of the greater races of giants, like a truly monstrous form beneath his feet.
And the opposite wall?
And on the opposite wall, now you see something different. The fresco is much less intense. The painting style much, how should we say, more serene. It seems to be a tranquil image of a woman holding a little girl in her arms. And this one lacks a button at the bottom. And the woman and the little girl are both have like these big smiles on their faces.
Yep. The next one?
And so now the next and the last set of frescoes. The one on your left again has the button at the bottom. You see that same hooded figure. Their arms are stretched over above them. And you can see that in their gauntleted hands, they're holding like an adult bullet. The same creature that you faced at Concord. Except this one is truly massive in scale. And you can see that he's holding it cleanly above his head. And what looks to be and seems to be like doing like a squat. Like in that kind of position.
Squats, bullets.
And on the opposite wall, again, it's painted in a similar style to the woman holding the child. Very, very calm almost in its detailing. Clearly less energy put into its painting. You can see a large-scale excavation happening in the middle of the woods. An entire area like flattened out. The trees cut away and the grass sort of scorched apart. And you can see these hazy figures like moving and scooping away massive mounds of dirt, or they're otherwise being like lifted into the air in like massive cubes. And again, this one has no button.
I'm going to examine the ones that don't have buttons more closely.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
I do good on those.
To GM.
All right.
I'll let you have advantage just to roll it right. You fuck. So this time you lean in much closer. Actually, doesn't one of you guys have like painter's tools or something?
My old character did.
I
I don't think anyone else does.
Anyway, so you step in a little bit closer to take a better look. You can see that it's a non-anomalous painting. Nothing seems amiss. Unlike some of the other pictures, though, these ones aren't painted onto like textured stone. These ones are flat on stone that seems to have been polished to an almost mirror finish before being painted over, which is what gives them the feeling of less energy being applied to them. The colors are very crisp, and it seems as if they haven't been affected by age at all. And you can only guess for any number of reasons why that might be. But you can see that each one has like delicate little strokes of paint that went into it. And you can see that this was something that clearly took a long time to put together, to paint onto the wall. Not that the other ones weren't, but you can see this one was very painstakingly crafted, both of them. I'm letting that perception count for both. And again, the other thing you notice is that where the buttons are on the other ones is just smooth stone, like the rest of the surfaces.
Doesn't really give me much information to work with. Before I head back up, I'm going to look at the end of the hall.
At the end of the hall is a large doorway, again made of solid stone. And you can see in this one that there are a few sections of like gaps in the stone every now and then. Like these little lines that you create almost like peepholes, but the peepholes are filled with what seems like a dust that seems to be like tightly packed into the center of the stone. But you can see that because of that, the stones at the very least are about 3 inches thick, and that's until the blockage. The stone itself is like lightly chiseled, almost like an engraving that shows a large, like massive, or like a large mountainscape on it. It doesn't seem to be one particularly based. Perhaps it's based on one that exists, but it's nothing that seems to be overly familiar. You feel safe in assuming as if it's just there to perhaps show a mountainscape.
Okay.
And also, there are 6 gestures, 2 knights, a squire, 3 squires, in fact, and then a cat.
That might make it more. That might make it easier than the buttons.
Press the button.
Ask Cassius if I can borrow one of his javelins.
I gave him one of my javelins.
I'm gonna try and push the closest button with the javelin while staying over here. Is that too far?
No, that should be fine. Everybody freeze. So you reach out with the javelin and just sort of like try and like press. You can feel that there's like a little bit of give to the button, and it seems to have some sort of like a spring activation to it almost. You press it like as flush as you can, trying to like press it in, but nothing happens. No clicks, no sounds. You release the pressure and it just sort of like slowly like squeegees like back into place, or squeezes back into place. Like a slow, smooth mechanism.
Okay.
Do you want me to push it with my finger?
Maybe we have to do it in the
Sure,
order of
you
his
can
life.
push it with your finger if you want.
Or you can move in with him.
Well, I am over here.
I'll outline where they are for you, Thor. You see, that's the area that they take up.
Okay. I'm gonna push one of the buttons with my finger.
So you're standing next to the one where like the figure riding the dragon, the one talking to the large figure, arm wrestling the orc, and racing tabaxi. Which one would you like to push?
I'm gonna push the dragon one.
You step over to the dragon portrait, sort of like taking in the imagery of it. You reach out and push in the button. You hear a soft sighing sound. And then a voice begins to speak. You can now check the Discord. Few people these days would know the name Alabash, but he was a well-known dragon in my heyday. That is, until I came along. I whipped his scaly ass so bad I'd be surprised if he wasn't still hiding somewhere.
This is a museum.
Doki?
Maybe if we push each of the buttons, they'll unlock the door.
Maybe there's some things that belonged in this museum.
Maybe we push them in order, so maybe we push the one across the hall from him then?
But you're standing there.
Push the button. With a javelin.
So that is the arm wrestling orc.
Yes.
Although the leader of quite the impressive orcish warband, Grasgar's Steelblood was somewhat lacking as an opponent. He put in a good effort, though. I'll give him that. And something that didn't make it into the end of the recording is at the end of each recording is the phrase, "But that's just me."
I think I hate this person.
So
Alright,
I hit this button. Just the big metal thing. Guess we'll just keep going down the list.
Here, give me 1 second. So let's see here. So then we've got the drow and the tabaxi. Then we've got the staff and the gnome. Then we've got the giants and the necroids. To most casters, I'm sure they'd say that the Tarisk is a bit of a problem. But to myself, one of the greatest casters of all time, well, let me just ask you, when was the last time you saw a Tarisk? The high priestesses of Lolth are always fun to hang around. If you were ever curious why they have such a disdain for their own men, well, let me just say I made quite the impression. The Tabaxi are a race almost as good at storytellings and almost as curious as myself. So needless to say, when I was invited to one of their secretive villages, how could I turn down the offer? Let's just say I showed them that there was more to man than meets the eye. If you were to ever ask a gnome the origin of their species, I'm sure they'd rattle off some nonsense like gods or deities or evolution out of some sort of lesser race. Don't let them fool you. I, myself, created the gnomes quite by accident, but that's just how it is for someone as amazing as myself. Ah, the Staff of Power. Truly a marvelous invention. I was never one to be satisfied with the finer things in life, so I figured I'd try out 2 instead of 1. I left them somewhere else, just for safekeeping. I once met an adventurer who called himself Giant Slayer. It piqued my curiosity, so I wanted to see what it was all about. I was unimpressed.
It is confirmed, I hate this guy.
Most casters are all brain, no brawn. They might as well be a kobold or a house cat or something. I've never found myself to be lacking, as my stories will assure.
Either he's this realm's greatest hero, or he's the biggest
I'm gonna go with the liar.
I was always friendly with the lesser
I've
races.
never heard of anyone
One of my
like that,
favorites
but-
was always the delightful kobolds. They weighed the perfect amount.
But that's just me.
And let me
I'm
tell you,
gonna,
I never missed a chance.
I'm going to investigate the door.
Where are you right now?
I'm at the end of the hall.
So as you guys approach the hallway, like Cassius sort of like walking behind, sort of talking to himself, he sort of like mutters the phrase, mimicking the tone. But that's just me. And before you can even approach Sky, you hear a soft clicking sound coming from the door.
I'm just going to push the door open.
What, are you done already with this place?
Yeah. Fuck it. Fuck to any trap or whatever. Just push it open. Let's get out of this hallway.
Give me 1 second.
I do find it interesting that he mentioned hiding his staves somewhere else.
He never had any.
But he created the gnomes.
No.
Yeah, that race that's all over the world.
Wow, he
You
must
know,
be
how many
really
gnomes have
good.
you met?
Is it Charlie,
It's
you
like
know?
Whistle's ancestor or something.
No.
Are you
I'm
sure?
I'm like 2 feet taller than gnomes.
Could just be two gnomes stacked on top of each other.
What gnome and a kobold?
You hear from under his robe? No, he found us out.
So with that, you push open the door to the left, and what stands before you is a brightly lit hall, like a massive corridor, dominated by 4 large pillars that seem to be covered from top to bottom in hundreds of little runes. Among all of these runes, for each pillar, you see dozens that glow a bright blue. And the floor itself is like a cascade of light that seems to sort of like shimmer across the ground. And again, much like the room that you're coming from, it is pristine and spotless. And in producing light from each pillar is like a stone that would fit in the palm of your hand that glows a bright, vivid light that spreads to almost every corner of the room.
All right,
Carefully
This room
enter
is-
the room.
this room is just as clean as the other ones. Just carefully look around to see if you see any oozes. Or gelatinous cubes, I should say.
I'm gonna look as carefully as I can from 40 feet behind everybody.
So as you step into the room, Scott, you hear this soft sigh coming from behind you, like, ah. And as you do, you hear the voice, the same one from the other room. Hello, and welcome to the Pillars of Casting. And then another soft sigh, and the room goes quiet again.
Ba-da-da-da!
Pillars of what?
Casting.
Oh.
Pasta? Like,
Yeah, the Pillars of Pasta. This one's linguine, this one's fettuccine,
what did you
this
say
one's
then?
spaghetti.
I thought he said casting.
Yeah, casting.
Oh,
Which one's lasagna?
These ones are lasagna flaps. So you step in, the room is cool. Like the air is like a nice, like crisp temperature. And as you walk, like nothing seems to respond. The ground just sort of like shimmers beneath you in like cool colors of like oranges and blues. To sort of like slowly shimmer by.
I'm going to examine the closest pillar.
So you lean into the pillar, examining it closely. As I mentioned before, it's covered head to bottom, or top to bottom, in hundreds of runes. But you can see that of those runes, dozens of them are like this bright blue glow accompanying them.
Can I make an Arcana check to see if I recognize any rune of the runes?
And in total, you can see almost 40 of these blue runes. You take a moment to count. You can go ahead and make your choice of an investigation or Arcana check. And Cassie, it's the same thing on the pillar you're standing next to, just sort of like at a glance, except there's almost twice the amount of blue runes.
Can I lick the blue runes?
If you want. You just have to pick which, you just roll, see which one you
What do I need to roll?
Roll a d40.
Yeah, I thought coffee might hurt it as pillars of pasta.
Anyway,
Right, Thog, I need you. So like you watch it. So like as you're investigating it, Scott. Here, let me.
It's a glyph of warding. You explode.
I mean, Divya, my wisdom is -1, so
You do you.
But we need wisdom.
no, Thors. I just licked the pillar.
I probably have the most wisdom.
Thog licks the pillar next to you. So you watch as Thog like leans in and like presses his tongue against one of the blue icons, and you see and you hear again like this nice little, like this soft sighing sound, the same one that you heard before when you pressed the buttons. And Thog, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. So Thog, as you like lick the rune, you hear that soft sighing sound. You see it like sort of like glow, like it flashes this brighter blue, and then it seems to like fizzle out, going dark. And as soon as it does, you see this sparkling light emanate from within of it. And Albin, you will instantly recognize the glow, the fervor of it, as a sacred flame that spits out of the pillar and slams into Thog's chest.
Christ.
well, that's unfortunate.
That tasted a little spicy.
As my entire client froze up for a second as soon as I targeted Thog.
You said some of those are runes of storage, right?
That is the idea of it. Yes, that's some of the symbols you get behind it.
Are they
Storage
powered
for
by the...
energy, or just
Just that's the basic runic understanding you get from it, from your perspective, from your
So the
understanding as a
pillar,
caster.
John, the pillar that shot out Sacred Flame, can I shoot Sacred Flame at it?
Yeah, well, Sacred Flame doesn't necessarily work like that. But yeah,
Sure.
you try and like focus on it, like from a perspective though. Like you try and like hone in your senses on it, and you don't find that like the spell doesn't feel as if it's connecting to something.
I'm just wondering if the spells are contained in the runes and if we could harvest them and just have a bunch of disposable spells.
Doubt. Strong doubt.
I'm gonna check one of the other pillars and see if it's the same stuff.
I was wondering if we need to cast a certain type of magic on each one.
So there are rooms. As you step into the room, you see that there are a total, including the door you just came from, 6 doors. And again, you can see inscribed next to each door are placards. Sky, as you approach this pillar, you notice that it's the same rune, the same runic components behind it.
It's just more of the same.
Correct.
Probably just a bunch of stored spells that we're not going to really be able to do too much with. But I guess I'll go check out the placards.
Do we have any scrolls we could maybe press against and see if we could take the room?
That's not how magic works.
Should I lick it again?
You can
Stuff
try
out.
You can try a different pillar. So again, Sky, as you approach the placards, much like the one before, are inscribed in dwarvish text.
I call Alvin over to see if he can read it.
I'm going to get closer to a pillar across the room. Is there even more than the one I'm standing with?
There are 4 pillars.
And do they have progressively more runes?
They all have more runes than the first pillar, but the other 3 have a comparable number. You do notice that this one you're standing next to does seem to have ever so slightly fewer than this one, and this one, or these other 2.
I'm not gonna. I suggest we don't mess with the pillars unless we have a good reason to.
Yep. Let's try a door.
Yeah, I was asking if Alvin could read the Dwarven script on the plaque.
I read that.
As you approach the placard, you can read it. You find that the scribing is a little off. It's not a very proper translation, but it seems to say those that serve.
Is this guy like a dwarf weeb or something?
I sent you a message, CT. On
No, I don't want to poke at the pillar, John. I learned.
I'll lick another one if you want.
That's your call.
Wait. Which
What are
rune
the
says
other ones?
which
What
rune
are the other
says storage?
placards say?
Which rune says storage?
You want to explain that one?
All right. What about the other? I'm gonna look over at this other door. Does it have any inscription?
So I'll just let you say that you look at each side. So there's the 2 doors on this side. This one says those I beat and what I carried. This one says those that served. This one says the height I soared to, or the height I ascended to. You're not really sure. This one says what I lost, or what I forgot. Again, you're not sure. And then finally, the large set of double doors at the end state, or it's written almost as if it's asking what I really am, or what am I really. Again, you're not sure. So I'll write those out.
We should like poke a storage room and see if anything pops out.
You could also be storing energy, CT.
These
As
doors
in
probably
fire.
These doors probably have to do with all the stuff we just heard. What kind of guys do you guys want to fight?
His wife and kid that he lost.
Or that he forgot.
We should go to the wife and kid door.
That's certainly a possibility. However, the door on the top left was about stuff you carried, and if you had loot, it would be in there.
It could also
That
be
or
that
the burden to
bullet
carry.
thing.
Or we could just do them in order.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Yo, let's do
We
it.
probably will have to anyway.
We're going for loot for every door until we're almost dead. So let's do this.
I got an idea. Let's
You
just
mean
roll.
like we were
Let's just
having
roll
the
to see
last
which one we do.
Let's go on the one on the left. Top left. Let's go there first.
Okay.
I pushed the door.
Oh, okay, that works too.
So you walk up to the door that was inscribed with "Those I beat and what I carried." And as you sort of like approach the door, you can see that there are 4 marks, like 4 blank slats in the center of the door. You press against it, but it holds firm in place.
We're gonna have to use the pillars. Okay, can I tell the difference between a rune of storage and a storage spell? Or just a spell rune?
Like I was saying, the runic undertone is of storage. It bears the characters for
Okay.
storage.
So they all do.
They all do. It's just that some glow.
It's like in. Oh.
I'll check the other door real quick to see if on the other side, on the other wall, just to see if it's the same kind of stuff as on the left side.
I was about to ask, can I make my own Arcana check on the pillars and use my star chain to do it with advantage? But God knows I'll make the same roll twice like I always fucking do when I try to use that goddamn star chain.
Well, what are you trying to parse? Perhaps maybe that's different than what Sky has shared.
Something a
For
bit more
example.
specific about, like, what the runes are doing. Just, like, what are they storing? Like, how much are they storing? Something like that.
Do an insight check instead.
I'm gonna give him a belly rub, back pat.
That's much
So the
worse
same
than
thing.
Arcana.
So as you approach this door on your right, Sky, you notice that this one is just a blank slate on the door. And now that you think about it, when you first walked over and read the plaque for "Those that I beat and what I carried," it didn't have those blank slats on the center of it. So when you first looked at it, it was just a flat sheet of rock, much like this door you're standing in front of now. And again, it's the same with this other door at the bottom right, a flat sheet of stone. Did you want to roll that with advantage, Tibbs?
Huh?
Your-
Insight's wisdom roll.
Oh, okay, so your chain doesn't let you
That's
do that.
why I was trying to fish for Arcana.
No, I can understand. I just didn't want you to effectively waste your roll.
Yeah.
From an Arcana perspective, I don't feel you don't feel as if you'd gain much more than
I
what
get
you
you.
already know. But as you try and discover, like perhaps any hidden meanings or the uses of the stones, you feel just as lost as you did before. It's strange. You're not sure why. You're not sure why someone would set up something like this. Something so elaborate. Something so needlessly
Convoluted.
extra, we'll say.
I have a pretty good idea, because the person who set this up is an egotistical lunatic, and that's the kind of thing that those people do.
And you say that in lightning strike, because
Well, that, and he also seemed to be fucking throwing around Dwarvish without actually really being able to write in it very well. Feels like he was doing that just to seem smart.
So as you stand in this room, the pillars sort of sitting with like the ever-present internal thrum of energy, more of a feeling, more than a sound. The floor beneath you glowing in shades of blues and oranges. The age-old question comes to mind of what, if anything, will you do?
I don't know. thought about using Identify on the pillars, but I have to touch them for that to actually work, and that would just activate.
Okay.
You have Ta'ala come and poke all the runes with his sword.
Joke's on you guys. Durgan can't Google the solution to this one.
I mean, I'll believe him on the thing last week about, like knights and knaves. I couldn't remember shit about it, but I
He
had
didn't
heard of
figure out the
them.
puzzle anyway. He didn't.
Yeah, he didn't, but. But yeah, if any of you had any risky ideas and you wanted
Do any of the
to,
other doors have slats on them?
None of the other doors have slats.
Maybe we have to do the other. We have to do the 4 other doors because there's the big one and there's 5 doors, right?
I guess I'll try this
It
one.
is the loot door, so let's try a different one.
Yeah, I'll be right back real quick. I think the little dog we're watching needs water.
yeah, I was gonna say if anyone had any risky ideas, I could spend 10 minutes casting augury, like, to ask the seeker if
I'm not sure
whatever
that's a
it is
really
is a good
good
idea.
idea for just a vague answer.
Well, I mean, it's just like, will this be good or bad? Bad. That's effectively all I get from augury. And it's just like, more and more these days, I wonder, why did I take the Seeker as my patron?
Because he didn't know shit until later.
Yeah, this was my first character.
My
Hey,
first
you got a cool
character,
pet.
I didn't know shit either. Could have got a crocodile pet. We could have fed Durgan to it.
A pseudo dragon.
I like my idea. I guess whatever it is, we could feed his Durgan to it, huh?
Mm.
You get a sword you'll never use because you're a billion miles away casting Eldritch Blast.
You could tame a black pudding and put it inside my alligator costume and then just throw that at Durgan.
Nightmares.
I don't see anything wrong with this plan. This plan seems perfect.
It's the new dwarf cannon.
I mean, it's an okay plan and everything. It's just, I mean, he is one of our healers technically.
We'll get a new drow. Call him Chris Chan. Be about as useful.
All right, I'm back. I also peed while I was gone. Any of you guys have the problem where you pee in the toilet bowl so hard it like ricochets out and splashes into your own face?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Anyway, I was going to try this door over here on the right.
Maybe I guess. Sorry, probably can't see where the doors are very well.
Hey, John, I was wondering, with these pillars, you were saying there were certain runes glowing blue? Was it
Correct.
each one
Yeah,
one
one of
had...
the ones Jimmy licked was blue.
Okay, but each pillar is just blue?
No, each pillar is covered like bottom to top, and these are like 20-foot tall pillars with the same runic symbol.
Mm-hmm.
And only a selection of them that go from the ground up, or that are about like pelvic height up, are blue. So it looks like almost like a Barbie.
I'll try this door.
So you decide, like, you press up against the door, and again it holds in place. It doesn't respond to you pressing against it.
Does it have the same kind of things as was on the other one?
This one is just a blank face of stone, no slats, or slots.
I'm going to push against the one I'm at.
Again, the same with Sky. No response. The door does not budge. another blank expanse of stone. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot another detail about this room. It's not related to what you're doing right now, but so before it was like a polished, like expanse of stone, like it's gonna be one solid slab that was like chiseled into. This one seems to be disparate bricks, like thousands of them, and each one seems to have like this. Each brick is like a small square that seems to have a gap carved around it. So it creates like this like strange, kind of like brickwork thing, but as if there's no mortar.
Yeah,
And maybe half-inch
with
gap.
nothing between them.
Correct. But you can see more stone about 1.5 inches down. Just to paint a detail of this room. And the same thing for you, Cassie, is that door does not respond.
Where did you see those slats were?
They are in the center of this door. I say as I put another square. This door. So they're in the center of this top left door. I had to repeat myself 3 times or I'd be cursed by a demon.
Sorry, I didn't remember.
No, I wasn't saying that sarcastically. For whatever reason, I just kept saying that part over and over again.
Beetlejuice,
I was
Beetlejuice.
yeah, I was stuck on loop or some shit.
Well, since we all seem a little confused, John, I'm going to poke another glyph.
Hook a blue one. Touch
Oh, yeah.
the blue one.
All right, go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll a D66. 11. So you reach out and you press the rune, and again a soft sighing sound, and the rune extinguishes. It's dark for a second, and then you see a small beam of glowing white light appear that then shoots down, like it follows like down your arm, down your side, and disappears and like fades into your weapon. What is it? A great axe?
Yeah.
And you can see the edge of your great axe begins to glow with this like brilliant, radiant light. And you can almost you sort of like reach down, like grab the pommel, and you can almost feel it like thrum with this power.
It's like a magic weapon spell.
Does anyone know what this does now?
Hey, which of the doors was it that had those I beat and what I carried?
This one on the
The
left.
one with the slats.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of walking up to it and saying just one part of my daily workout. Well, I mean, yeah, CT saying the other thing, like, seemed to do something. Like, open the door.
Ah, that's good. I'll touch one of the rooms. On
Touch blue
on the
one.
pillar over here. All right, yeah.
So let's.
Well, if it does something that looks like it's gonna kill you, I might try to cast counterspell on it.
You walk over and do that. Um, so as you walk over, you sort of like mutter to yourself, like, one part of my daily workout. And the door doesn't respond, but you see one of the slats for just the barest moment. Seems to like shimmer this red color before fading back to just dull stone. And then pull it down, which is awesome.
Wrap your arms around it and rub your body up and down it.
Activate all the rooms. That's a good plan.
What?
Can I get inspiration for that, John?
Sky.
Whoa, what I just is what Sky was doing.
Go ahead and roll a D40. Also.
You cast Power Word Kill and you die.
So you like reach up and like tap one of the runes, and you see like again like the soft sighing sound. It fades out, and then again nothing. But then you see like this puff, like this small like purple circle, sort of like pop against your chest, and just sort of like let this like purple smoke sort of like fade across your chest.
And then
He's
you
probably
start
dead.
convulsing.
Then his hair falls out, his head grows a couple sizes, and tentacles shoot out of his mouth. Oh, we're facing an illithid now.
Oh, I didn't really do much.
So John, all of his hair falls out, tentacles shoot out of his mouth. He's an illithid now.
No, just
No.
like he described. He just kind of shrugs. Or she just kind of shrugs.
Have we touched any of the red runes so far, if there are any?
I thought they're all blue.
Yeah, there
Blue
are
or
blue
gray,
ones.
right?
There are blue ones and then gray ones.
I touch a gray one.
What
You
color
reach-
did Jimmy lick?
A
Blue.
blue one. So Cassie, so you reach out and you like tap one of the gray ones. So you can see it's like a solid block of the blue ones that moves up the pillar. You decide like go to the end of that and tap one of the gray ones. And nothing happens. Or actually, you know what, give me 1 second. So you reach out, you tap one of the runes, and you see it glows, this like faint white light. It seems to sort of like sit there expectantly.
And
I'm gonna put a healing hands into it.
Be right back.
That counts as a spell.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have an idea.
I'll put my light cantrip into it.
So like you sit there and you like press your hand forward and you cast a light on the glowing rune. Surprisingly, you can feel like the magical glow, like sort of like emanate out of your fingers. It disappears into the rune, which pulses a second. Like it goes white, then it goes gray, then it goes white, then it goes gray, and like it sits gray for a second before it sort of like pops back on a blue rune.
I am going to perform a detect magic ritual.
And Sky's head explodes.
So you guys watch as Sky like moves to sort of like the center of the room and begins to put on like this big, like elaborate dance. Yeah, probably.
Is this part of the?
What were you gonna say, CT?
Is this part of the detect magic ritual?
No, they just
Oh,
do
you just
that.
do it for fun?
I'm back. Oh, what's happening with Theothis and Narissa?
Marissa casted detect magic.
This place isn't real. This is all big illusion.
So the thing on my axe is illusion?
He says like as he like holds up his axe.
Can I
Hey,
tell?
does that mean I'm an illusion? I touch my own body.
Your hand passes through it as if nothing's there.
Oh my god!
No, you'd be an illusion too, so it would work.
Ghost.
Zoinks!
I'm a ghost!
But this is all unsurprisingly fake.
I read into thought.
Go ahead and make a go ahead and make a raw strength check for me real quick.
Me?
Thog. So Thog,
Yeah, fine.
so I was so like you watch as Thog sort of gets like as like Cassia sort of like bumps into him. You see Thog sort of like bump back and sort of like falls like against the pillar for a second before righting himself back up. But none of the runes change.
Oh, okay.
Fake room.
So, if this is all fake, that means the damage we take from the spells are fake?
If you, I believe the way illusions work is that if you believe they're real, then they're real.
So none of this is real. I close my eyes, none of this is real. I open my eyes.
Go ahead and do a. What is the rule to suss out illusions?
I think it's investigation.
Do an investigation check.
91 too.
Sure. Make both of them to GM. Anyone?
Oh, so should I roll again, or?
No, that's fine.
Sure, I could do that.
Because I already know it's an illusion. Could I get a kind of advantage on that?
Sure.
Wait, does that mean we were just tapping on stone walls, trying to get through the door?
Sounds like it.
I was just getting a false positive from the actual. The illusion is just the cosmetic stuff, like the floor. This has just been enchanted to make it look nice. It's actually pretty shitty.
Oh, but
Oh, okay, so never mind. The,
is the magic in the pillars real?
I have informed I was wrong that the pillars are still have some sort of illusion around them. Guess I'll just examine the pillar again, see if anything has changed. I can't think of anything else to do.
The only thing that's changed since you've entered the room is the number of lit runes on this pillar. There's now one less, two less.
Maybe we can just try putting, I don't know how many cantrips we all have. We can just try putting cantrips into the, see if we fill a pillar up, that'll open it. How many runes are on the pillars?
How do you GM whisper?
What?
How do you do a GM whisper in chat?
/WGM. It should be like that. Give it a test first before you do it, though. Better safe than sorry.
How many runes are on the pillar and beside? Even unlit ones.
On unlit ones, there's hundreds of them.
Okay, that's probably
Like I
what
said,
it is.
they're 25-foot tall pillars that sort of like extend to the ceiling above. And starting from like where your pelvis is up, there's about 60 some odd lit rooms.
Okay, then I'm going to use another ritual to touch one of the pillars and cast Identify. Should tell me what magic is affecting the room is affecting the pillar.
would it be dickish of me to have like the rune just glow and like the identify spell like disappear into it?
Well, if I'm touching a room, you could do that, I guess.
I like I like the way you say that. I guess you could.
Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. It's a fair interpretation of what could happen. I'll just go and
Yeah.
touch something else.
Just be like, I carefully touch in between the runes.
I mean, that's what I was thinking about doing, but
Huh.
I
Didn't specify. Maybe it's just finished googling the puzzle.
Real.
I have a high suspicion that this puzzle was crafted for us. Hey, Albin, get the fuck over here to this door. Because I
Real.
think you're carrying the thing that I'm thinking of.
So what you notice? So I identify spell.
What am I carrying the thing? What?
Bullet plates or scales or whatever you want to fucking give.
Yeah.
There's a slat in this door, so presumably you're supposed to put something in. So I got
I'm gonna
my.
assume it's not something we brought. It's gonna be something in here.
Is it? Like most of this room is an illusion.
it is affected by an illusion. It is not necessarily entirely an illusion.
Can you link?
Hey, were
identify-
these
oh, never mind.
pillars up back here too? And did they have runes on them too?
Those are big statues. Are those not on this layer? Oh, sorry, layer.
K and H. Okay. Was there anything on them, like, or are they just solid statues?
These were big statues that helped the party sort of open this first set of doors that was here. It's a large statue of a knight. Over here is a statue of like a squire, and the doors are open now. They sort of sunk into the wall. But on like each side right here, you can see like half of a jester's face.
But yeah, I was gonna say put my giant leather and a bullet scale or something through this slat.
No. Slide your hand under there. I could bring that back.
Oh, shut the fuck up. You fed half your meat to bears. What's one scale gonna cost you?
Fuck that. I'm bringing that for this shit. That's the whole reason we were
Is it?
going on an adventure. It was. Okay,
It's-
these jester faces, John, are they stuck to the wall? They painted? What is the deal?
I thought the gesture thing was part of the door.
It's carved. It's the jester's face is carved into the door.
The point of what adventure? Because I've been here for
Here,
about a year.
I'm gonna borrow Narissa.
We were supposed to be heading to the mountains or whatever.
Yes,
but
I
we keep
get
getting
that. I
distracted.
get that. That was the original thing. But I'm saying
But
I
if you,
joined the
there's
game
no
like
way.
a year ago.
I'm telling you. Do you really think why? That's a very specific thing. Okay, so we touched all the pillars, right?
I don't know.
No, I've touched two of them. Two on the left side of the room. I don't think we've touched any on the right
And
side.
so far, the only thing is you getting hurt, and then some mist stuff that hit
His
Nerissa
weapon
that
got
did
enchanted
nothing.
on the second one. I'm one step closer to being an Omnicrafter in 14. Just in time for that to be completely invalidated by
Nice.
an expansion. I only have 2 more blunt crafting classes to get to 70.
Nice. Ugh. I wanna level up. I still have a whole expansion to go.
Yeah,
And I'm not there yet in the story quest, so it's fucking.
it's like the Heavensward stuff isn't that bad to get through.
No, I'm on like the post stuff after Heaven's Word, like after
Yeah, I know.
Heaven's Word. And it's not bad. It's just there's like just a lot left.
I mean, this is a light spoiler because every trailer for Shadowbringers is giving this away a mile ahead of time, but it's like, yeah, get ready for all of the war with Garlemald stuff to stop on a fucking dime. Are you to the quest stuff called the Far Edge of Fate yet?
I
Hank?
don't think so.
Yeah, well, the stuff
I'm
from
at the one where I gotta, the witch lady, the
Atoya.
the master of whatever, the cat
Atoya.
girl. Yeah, I have to do the dungeon in her place right now.
Okay. Well, pretty soon you're gonna run into some guys called the Warriors of Darkness.
Oh wait, yeah, I did run into them.
Okay, yeah. So, do you know anything about them yet?
I kind of figured stuff out, like especially after watching the thing
Okay, so you know where they're from is the big
from that
thing?
other world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
like
so,
light is taking over everything.
Hello,
Yeah.
we're back.
welcome back.
Well, this room isn't real.
Room isn't real. All right.
How can it be not real if we're standing in it?
Don't think about that too hard. Please, don't think about
John,
that too hard.
can I? If I think this place is fake, can I insight it away?
Don't think about it that hard.
Okay, I'm not. I don't care anymore. I'm going back to not caring again. Like I've been this whole time. I wonder if I could eat that
We
jello.
kind of need to believe this room is real.
So you tell us to believe the room's real, I tell you the room's not real?
Yes, don't think about it that hard.
Cassius, go ahead and make an investigation check, because don't think about
Here's-
purple elf.
Here's a backpack. Hey, why is he doing it?
Okay, you can do it too, Alvin.
I
Whisper
don't
to
want
you.
to do it either.
Not too bad. You were told not to think about a purple elephant. Look what happened.
Damn it.
You can do it to GM if you can.
What?
You can do it to whisper it to GM. I switched it on.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah, you guys.
Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. And I have a backpack.
You guys are like burning up today.
There,
Right.
17.
So Sky, so like you turn to Albin and you kind of like have this like focused like look on your face. You like turn to the rest of the party and you're like, this room isn't real. And Albin just kind of like sits there and like stare, like, he like looks down at like his feet and like standing on the ground, like looks back up at you. And it's kind of like
I'm hungry.
he's got the look on his face of a father who has to explain to his quadriplegic daughter that she'll never get to be a ballerina.
I think if I mix fruit with the jello thing, it'll be good.
And then he kind of like looks down at his feet. And then Sky, from your perspective, you watch he just like disappears through the floor. No, that doesn't happen. Nothing happens.
We...
I was just expecting that thing from Ant-Man, like when he gets shot with the shrinking gun.
I'm looking at this door on the bottom.
And your magical aura tells you that it's the same as the rest of them.
And then I tell them there is no spoon.
Well, it said what is it? It said what am I? I really am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What I really
you
am
scroll up.
/ what am I?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Or that's like Alvin was explaining. It's written in Dwarvish poorly.
You know what? This is
You're
kind
a
of off the wall,
liar.
but I'm just going to try and walk through the door.
You like turn back to the rest of the party, sort of like your eyes like half wide, and like you kind of like motion, and Alvin like walks up along with you, and you each like confidently like take like a stride, and like smack your faces into the wall.
Well, I'm not really sure why Alvin did that, but okay.
Wait, right. I figured out this, so I just ran into a wall for no reason. No reason. See, I'm down. I'm not paying attention to this room so much that happened.
Sky, can
That's how I can tell it was fake. Because I'm like, what the hell is
I
this?
don't know. It's just,
Oh shit! Walking through the wall.
I think this whole guy is fake. I was kind of like seeing if it was maybe sort of like a hint that the door was fake.
So did I, with my investigation thing, did I figure anything out, or am I still just?
All right, I'm gonna go to the only pillar we haven't, and I'm gonna touch a random rune.
Wasn't that one of the gray inert runes?
None of them have. None of them are all gray inert. All right, go ahead and roll like a D66. I think you guys haven't touched spells on most of the pillars. You guys have touched this one and this one.
I've touched two pillars on the left side.
I touched
Wait,
one on
how
the
did I
bottom.
get hurt?
Right.
Oh, slamming at the wall.
Yeah, no one's touched any of either of the ones on the right side.
I touched the bottom right one. Jimmy
I just
touched
figured
the
they'd be
left.
the same. Just more spells to cast on yourself and get hurt horribly.
Oh, and Sky, were you rolling to touch one too?
Oh, I thought you told me to do it.
Oh no. I'm sorry. Yeah, Cassius, can you go ahead and roll a?
Did
Did I give you
wow.
a spell effect when you rolled, or when you said you touched one before?
No, I don't think you did.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and roll another D66. I'll say they both have. So a 1. All right. So on this, I'll say this one happens first. 17. All right.
Oh,
Who's magic hand?
you cast Fireball on everyone, I'm going to be very sad.
I'll do my best to counterspell,
Quick, blow up Velko.
but I think it's just a fucking fairy fire. Felku's in the other room.
An illusory illusion. It's a double illusion.
I mean, it's like, I get that all of this is like probably fake and bullshit, but it's just like, it doesn't mean maybe
All
we
right.
have to play along.
I need. I need Cassius, Albin, and Thog to make a dexterity saving throw.
Wow. That's fucking. I have
Ooh.
-1 dex.
Ninja dwarf.
I should have
Nice
rolled a him.
rolls. All right, so Thog and Cassius failed. All right, so how we're gonna play this is like Cassius touches one rune, walks over to the next one, and like taps the other pillar. So as you like stop over here, like just as the other pillar, like the rune goes, like fades out, you see like a light shoot to the center of the floor here.
Oh god.
Here. And you see all at once, like you see a fracture, like cut through each segment of stone, and then all at once you see like every single brick is shattered into like a crinkled pattern, almost like stained glass that sort of goes across, and then all at once they shoot up like these jagged pillars of rock. Cassius, you are going to move your light. You are going to take 21 damage. Albin and Thog will each take 10.
Be at 29 then?
I didn't.
1 second. What'd you say, Cassius?
Wouldn't that be at 29 then, not 21?
I don't know. I just removed 21 from you.
17 didn't save me.
I mean, what does it matter if it did? You passed. You took less damage than Cassius, didn't you?
Oh, okay. I thought Thog failed.
And then, actually, let me check something. So this might actually be funny. Nope, never mind. And so then, like after that happens, like after you've been like partially like skewered and like your ankle sort of like cracked by a rock, the other pillar in front of you sort of like glows, and you see like this kind of like warping, shimmering light sort of like pass like into you and sort of like pulse across your skin. And you pulse, like you flash rapidly for a second, and then it fades away into nothing.
Something I meant to ask, can I use counterspell against the runes?
Cannot.
Okay.
And now, for the meantime, this area is difficult terrain within that square.
So, Albin, you feel like tossing me that bullet scale now?
Nope. Grab some of the chunk of the ground. So it does random spells when you touch it.
I mean, seeing as the runes fade out after you touch them, they seem to each store individual spells. Okay, if it'll convince you, Thors, I'll ask my literal god.
I don't trust the demons.
I don't
Your
fucking...
god's probably a lie.
Like, my god is the most real of any of y'all's.
Mine
I don't
gives
have a
me
god.
powers. What are you talking about?
Don't you talk about my god like that?
Yeah.
Like Sky like clues back in just in time to hear you like screaming that.
Give me a skill.
Oh, dude.
You know what? Here, fine. You can have 1 bullet scale.
I'm gonna
That's all I was
symbolize God's
asking
stuff
for.
anyway.
Okay, never mind on the augury.
What'd you say, Sky?
I'm gonna symbolize
There,
God's stuff
I
anyway.
adjusted my thing. You have 1.
Okay, before I add it to my inventory, I'll see about putting my giant leather and a bullet scale through the slat.
you sort of like rough and tumble your way over like the shattered rock before it turns back into like smooth tiles as you go back out to the hallway.
I'm gonna check those gauntlets that that guy was wearing at every single one of those frescoes. Let's see if I can take them off.
Now, something I like describe. So, like, if you were looking at the door in there, it's a flat, like it's like a little like a flat placard, like this small like half-inch little divot in there.
But the frescoes?
In the stone door. The frescoes, so you like reach up and sort of like tap at the gauntlets in the fresco, but you can see like it's just sort of like painted on over like stucco to give them like a little bit of a texture.
You said the indentations in the door were like a half inch? How many of them were there?
John, what kind of door is this right here? On the bottom?
And it is a large, smooth expanse of stone, as are the other 4 doors that are closed.
I'm still kind of not figuring this out. I'm going to try and... Where's the fresco with the staffs? I'm going to try and see if I can... If maybe those are loose.
It's the same thing with all of the frescoes. They're just painted onto plastic.
Did nothing happen with the door slat after I put those in?
But what if?
The giant leather and the bullet scale.
I mean, they wouldn't fit, but no, nothing happens.
Hey, Klein, you should go put a finger in the slat.
How big are these buttons?
They're about 3 inches wide, about 1.5 inches long, tall, and they stick out about 1 inch.
I'm gonna pull on this button.
So you pull on the button, like how, like you just want to like light tug. Or...
I'm just gonna actually try and yank it out of the wall.
Go ahead and make a strength check. We're just raw strength.
It's my specialty. That's a save, sorry.
Yeah, you fuck. It's the same, but I'll let you re-roll it because you've been having a bad night.
Yeah, whatever. I'm using my other portent dice. I get a 7. I get a 17 minus.
So you like reach down and like grab the button and you give it like a soft like sudden like tug, and you feel like it slides like with this rather satisfying like smooth glide like clean out of the wall.
Ah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I understand now.
He says, with hope.
With a rock in his hand.
Right. I mean, okay. Which one of these frescoes? I'm trying to figure out which ones were the for people he actually beat.
Only one door had the slots, right?
Correct.
The giant and the bullet.
No, he didn't beat. No, he beat the giant. He also
Also beat
arm
the
wrestled
dragon.
that orc.
Dragon.
The dragon, the
He
orc,
rode the
bullet.
dragon more.
No, he beat it. That's because when you listen to his thing, he says he
Like
beat it so bad it's still in hiding.
And the orc.
I don't remember him saying that, but okay.
he beat the orc in an arm wrestling contest.
I'm gonna take the one. Well, I'd probably have to make strength checks and pull all these buttons out, huh?
Might want to keep track of which one's which.
Yeah,
though.
hold on, don't do that. We get
You know. But yeah, when I said, just part of my daily workout, the slat on the one for those I beat and what I carried glimmered.
So that's just me. But that's just me, and it's all part of my daily work.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure we need to use these buttons on the door.
Probably. DBA.
Now, which you said that you said some of them glimmered. Did you?
Yeah, those I beat and what I carried. When I said the line about, just part of my daily workout.
I don't remember which ones he said that on.
The one I'm standing next to.
Does anybody remember the name of the dragon?
Bash.
And the orc?
Orc was Grasgar Steelblood. I was taking some notes.
And he beat a giant and
there's
the
that.
bullet.
He also technically defeated the Tabaxi.
Sky,
Yeah, that was-
as you're talking to Cassius about this, you hear like behind you, you hear soft, like two soft sighs behind you.
Okay, what happened?
So I'm thinking the slats, they activate when we say the names of the people he beat.
So you like turn around to look, and you can see like sort of just above Charlie, who's just staring at his fucking feet, I guess, with like a thumb in his mouth. Is like you see like two green, like the slat, like two of the slats are now glowing green.
Oh, the Tarisk. The Tarisk?
One that's written, like the one is written Alabash. And the other one beneath that is written Rumgar Steelskin. Steel Blood.
Those are the only names that were mentioned, though.
Giant Slayer.
What does the plaque say?
Orc Wrestler.
Staffs of power.
He
And a
created
third
the gnome.
soft
The
sign.
Staff of Power.
The
Else,
slat
just for
goes green.
safekeeping. Figured I'd
Staff
try out
of
2
Power.
instead of 1.
Appears.
I left them somewhere.
All three
Truly
flash
a marvelous
for a
invention.
second, and then
I
fade
was never
away.
one to be satisfied
slats
with
sort of
the
melting
finer
back
things in
into
life,
smooth
so I
stone.
figured I'd try out 2 instead of 1.
You hear a click.
I left them somewhere else, just for safekeeping.
The door opens, and there are 10,000 skeletons behind.
We shoved Charlie through.
Most casters are all brain, no brawn. They might as well be a kobold or a house cat
Like
or something.
you like push Charlie a little
I've
bit.
never
He,
found
like,
myself
bumps
to
into the
be
door, and the
lacking,
door,
though, as my stories will
squeaks out.
assuredly.
Yeah, let's get this door open. Door opener guy.
Get in
with
there.
armor.
I've never found myself to be
But that will be
lacking,
for another night.
as my stories will assuredly. Most casters are all brain, no brawn. They might as well be a kobold or a house cat.
We're gonna
or
call it
something.
right there.
So did
Well, at least
my
he got a
weapon
free
get
one.
enchanted?
By now your axe has like stopped shining. It had a smite spell cast on it. I whispered Cassius that he recognized the spell, but nobody listens to their whispers, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I just take forever to respond to them.
Yeah, okay.
Honestly, Iltis, it was because I was trying to listen back to the recordings to remember names and shit.
Well, we made some progress. Nobody died.
I guess he sort of beat the priestesses of Wolf too.
Yes, that is technically true.
Yeah, I was thinking of walking over to the door at the bottom and saying, like, the greatest caster or whatever.
But no, guys, I understand. I'll Google easy riddles. I'll make sure they're the
No, I like
top.
difficult.
I'll make sure they're the top 3 results on Google search, and I'll save them for when Durgan's around.
No, I like having to try and think about stuff.
I mean, I was just trying to get someone to come over and actually look at the door and stop obsessing with the fact that there's an illusion on the room. I mean,
Yes,
Yeah,
you
there-
I
wanted,
know.
you wanted me to shove my rare materials through the hole for.
Like there was at one point where Charlie mentioned he's like, oh yeah, well they're like in the frescoes there was the orc that he beat, and I sent him the message like almost 12 minutes ago. What orc? And nothing.
yeah, sorry, I keep having to go tend to her. So I'm up and down.
Same thing to Cassius when he said that he beat the dragon. I said beat who? And he goes the dragon, and I even said what dragon?
I absolutely
That's
been about
for me to
everything
ask
from
the name. Yeah, John,
Yeah.
I didn't take any notes. I was just
Yeah.
relying on somebody else. I would have listened to
Like I said, the first page of Google result riddles. I don't know. Did it feel bullshit?
No,
That's
this is fine. We were
No.
just on a. I just sent everybody on a wild goose chase because I was
It's
just trying random things.
Okay, it's
I mean,
just like
I like
imagine
something
Narissa,
different than just, fighting. It's good.
Imagine Narissa if you weren't a wizard and didn't have detect magic or identify. How do you think this night would have gone?
Probably would have been done faster.
Probably.
Nah, probably not.
That's what I provide.
I don't
Content.
know. Like Narissa, how much do you feel you learned casting those spells?
I learned things that I am uncomfortable with and wish I don't know.
Roll a max roll for the detect delusion spell, and you realize the whole world's fake.
On the plus side,
What is this,
me
Elder Scrolls?
realizing everything was an illusion caused me to walk into the door, which gave me a hint.
That's true. Not everyone smashes their face against stone.
Exactly. Now I know that if I get stuck on a puzzle, I just need to smash my head against a brick wall.
And now, as a tabaxi, you can tell the story about the time you convinced a dwarf to walk face first into a block of stone.
Yeah, see? It's wins all around.
And I liked a spicy fireball.
Yeah, when you said that there was a ray of light shot towards the middle of the room, I was concerned that actually was going to be a fireball.
There's another hint about the pillars and what happened there. But that's probably gone now. Because it was lost to the memory banks.
Yeah, I guess I missed it then.
It was something I mentioned to Albin.
I don't remember.
Little legs. Fuck.
No, not that. But I mean, specifically about the pillars, it was what it shot at Thog. And there's another hint that's related to it in terms of what happened to you, Narissa. Which actually, on that note, you spent 10 minutes casting that.
Then been another 10 minutes.
Yeah, let me.
I mean, detect magic only lasts for.
Alright, I'm gonna go play some Final Fantasy 14, try to get my white mage up a few levels. Have fun!
So, yeah, I'm gonna hop off also.